Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we have some terrible breaking news. A Republican has been caught stealing money from a disabled veteran. And this wasn't just any Republican, this was George Santos. Now you might recognize him because he's been in the news recently. He has been exposed for lying about literally every aspect of himself. And now he has been caught stealing money from a disabled veteran. And this is the story right here. George Santos took $3,000 from a disabled veteran who was going to use that money on his dying dog. And this is Richard Osthoff, and in May 2016, when he was living in a tent in an abandoned chicken coop in New Jersey, he sadly learned that his service dog, Sapphire, developed a life-threatening stomach tumor. And as I said, this gentleman is a disabled veteran who was honorably discharged from the Navy in 2002. Now, he learned that the surgery for his dog would cost around $3,000, and of course, he couldn't do it himself. So a veterinary technician took him aside and told him, "I know a guy who runs a pet charity who can help you." And his name was Anthony DeVolder, and his pet charity was called Friends of Pets United. And who is Anthony DeVolder, you might be asking? Well, that's George Santos, and the name Anthony DeVolder is one of the many names that George Santos identified as before entering politics. So Osthoff reached out to George Santos, and what do you know? Santos started a GoFundMe for the dog, with the goal being $3,000 to pay for the surgery. So the people who were helping Osthoff went around to their friends and family in their community, and thankfully they raised $3,000 to help the dog. But then George Santos closed the GoFundMe and ran away with the money. And new text messages have been obtained between the disabled veteran and George Santos, as you can see right here. And it shows the veteran saying, "Hey, my dog is really sick. She needs the surgery right now, or she's going to lose her life." And George Santos is basically saying, "Nope, cannot do." And after Santos scammed this man and his dog out of the money, Richard Osthoff, the veteran, posted on Facebook saying, "To everyone who helped me and Sapphire raise the money for her surgery, I'm sorry to say that we were scammed by Anthony DeVolder," or George Santos. He went on to say that Sapphire has not received veterinary care, and her growth is 3 to 4 times bigger than it was when the campaign was fulfilled. And after all of this, someone who was helping the veteran reached out to George Santos, and he said, "I contacted Santos and told him you're messing with a veteran and that he needed to give the money back or use it to get Osthoff another dog. He was totally uncooperative on the phone." And Santos responded by saying that he planned to use the money to help other animals. And of course, the veteran and the people around him were outraged because the GoFundMe was set up to help his dog. And as you can see from the quote at the bottom, it's literally taken from the GoFundMe page, and it says, "Dear all, when a veteran reaches out to ask for help, how can you say no?" And this story came about because this veteran and the people around him saw George Santos on the television because of his involvement in politics. They saw that he was exposed as a liar, and they called each other in shock to see that this man who scammed them was in Congress now. And one of the people involved in the situation commented on the veteran saying, "He has PTSD, and this dog is his lifeline. When I first heard about it, I thought this is going to kill him." And of course, journalists reached out to George Santos and his office, but they refused to provide a comment. I mean, look, we knew that George Santos was a bad guy, but this is a different type of evil. Who on earth steals money from a disabled veteran? Not only did he steal money from a veteran, but that money was going to be used to save a dog's life. But instead, no, George Santos decided to pocket it and run. You know, I was talking to another veteran in one of my live streams, and they made a great point about this story. They said that for many people who come back from serving, their pet or service animal is the best thing in their lives. I mean, this service dog was such a loving animal, giving unconditional love to his owner, which is something that he may not have experienced before. And he loved this dog. He desperately wanted to save the dog's life. But George Santos decided to use his story, use his pain to make money for himself. It's absolutely disgusting. And what is the Republican Party doing in response? Putting him on committees in the House of Representatives. The Republican Party is not telling him to resign. They're not telling him to make up for his immoral actions, but instead, they're giving him more power and more of a voice at the table. Hopefully, everybody watching this video, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, can agree that George Santos needs to resign right now. This is absolutely one of the worst political stories I've ever seen. It genuinely made me feel sick in my stomach reading about it. I still can't fathom how anybody could be this evil. Hopefully, Santos steps down because this is just unacceptable. Anyway, folks, that's gonna wrap up the video for today. I really appreciate you watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I would really appreciate if you folks did those things. And once again, whether you like me or you dislike me, have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you folks soon.